In 3, 2, 1, you're live. Hello, friends. How's everybody out there in the world?
In the world?
In the world. I was going to say, I don't know what I was going to say.
Hello to Serbia. Awesome.
Man, we had Australia earlier today. How cool is that?
Did we go to Serbia?
When we went to Croatia.
We went into Serbia.
Yes.
Very briefly.
We came
We went into Serbia a little bit. So welcome. Did you guys all watch our Keyhole House video today?
Man, you got to go watch it. This is one of the greatest houses we've done for sure.
Yeah, if you love Victorian architecture, if you're a Victorian home lover, then you have absolutely got to watch the Keyhole House walkthrough video.
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes long. It's this long.
Who doesn't love it? I saw somebody today that said, it's not my style. I was going, how could it
how can it not be your style?
It's so great.
And how did you end up here if it's not your style?
I know.
What are you doing on Old House Channel if Victorian's not your style?
Well, if you saw it in person, it would be your style. I don't know. It's
unbelievable. So you guys take a look at that. And I will say, look.
They watched the video.
Thank you. Thank you to those of you who do watch our videos. We on Instagram, on our community there, and even here, we don't do swipe up paid promotions over on Instagram. We don't do a lot of product pushing over here. We don't like that. It feels kind of gross to a little dirty.
And we get hit up by that
all the time.
Daily,
push our wood filler, push our paint, push our whatever. And we don't do that. And so you guys watching the videos that we produce, which are monetized, really helps us continue to do this kind of ad-free, which I guess like a podcast that stays ad-free that you love. It really helps us out. So we appreciate that so much. Sorry, we're going to try to keep up with the questions as we go. We'll see if we can do that.
We'll wait a little while for everybody to get here and we'll
why don't we schedule this for 5 o'clock when everybody gets off work?
Well,
I know in Serbia.
Serbia, that's not, that's about to say.
What time
California,
is it in Serbia?
It's 3 o'clock. So
I would love to know what time it is in Serbia.
Serbia, it is probably 11 p.m.
I bet you're close to right.
I bet that's close. Yes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy those videos.
In British Columbia. So what's the weather like in British Columbia right now? Is it lovely or is it already getting cold? I think British Columbia is kind of temperate, isn't it? Right there by the water.
I don't know. It's not as bad as. I'm going to show my ignorance if I keep talking.
I know. It's midnight in Serbia. Thank you.
What did I say? 11?
You said 11, so you were close. Yeah. You're close.
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird that you're watching from 2 devices at all.
Yes, actually watch our YouTube videos on 18 devices.
Please. That's awesome.
Watch it over and over. I had somebody that said they already watched it
95, I love that. 95 degrees in Vegas. Look, this is what's crazy. Arkansas, we live in Arkansas, which is the southeast part of the United States. Usually fall in Arkansas comes in mid-December. You wake up one morning and you're like, feels a bit chilly. But this year, on the fall equinox, we woke up and it came in like a wrecking ball.
It got down to 47 last night.
Yes, it went from 70 degrees at night to 40.
I saw a meme today that said the weather in Arkansas went from 90 to 55 like they just saw a state trooper.
Amen. That's
right?
Exactly what happened.
That's
90
perfect.
to 55.
Keyhole House is stunning. Isn't that great? Guys, we just spent last week in Natchez, Mississippi, and we videoed 5 amazing houses. And we're going to kind of space them out for you guys. But the Keyhole House is so special. They're all really special houses. You're going to love them. Yeah,
you're going to love them. You're going to love them. It's so difficult for us to decide which one to release first because they're all such architectural dreams. And they're all ones, I don't know about you, but I can't afford $1 million house. I'm never going to afford $1 million house. But to get to peek inside and see what those look, because they're not tour homes. You can't go in them. They're private homes.
I saw somebody say, I've been to Natchez many times. Yep. And done the tours, but this one is never available to see. It's a private home. Yeah,
Farmer's Almanac says we were to get our woolies out, and we hate cold weather.
Yeah, we don't do well in cold. So,
I saw somebody. Hang on, there was something else. Somebody asked if we'd made $1 million on the treasures that we found in the house yet. Not yet.
No,
see, here's the problem
not exactly.
with that.
That Laine wants to keep them all, so she doesn't sell them and make any money.
Well, that's the first problem. Yeah. The second problem is then you have to list them and sell them. And I already am squeezing every second out of my day. When am I going to do that? photograph and list and
know.
sell.
We've had so many nice people tell us, what some of the things were that we didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, excuse you.
Excuse me.
Burp the baby. I love that there are people here from all around the world. This
I do
is
too.
So amazing.
I hope you guys feel like this is a community that has a like-mindedness, that we can discuss old houses and preserve old homes. Hopefully you feel that way.
It is hard to read the comments and like chat at the same time.
I know.
Sorry.
I usually read while you talk because you are better at keeping talk going.
We don't know them. No, we don't know them.
Well, you have to say what the question is, and nobody knows what that means.
I'm going to say, somebody says that they have an elopement porch. Yeah, I know. So somebody says they don't like the big screen TV next to the beautiful fireplace. There was a lot of that in that house. And there were other places to put it. Like in our living room, the only place to put the television is over the fireplace, which I avoided for the first 8 years that we lived here because I didn't want to do it. But we had to sit at this crazy angle to watch TV.
Yeah, it was not good.
In that house, there were other places to put the TV. So I kept thinking, why are you putting it over this gorgeous fireplace? Kathy says she loves old homes. She wishes she could do what we do. No, you don't. I'm tired today. Can you tell?
Well,
so my baby niece, she's 14. She got invited to homecoming by her boyfriend who's in high school. And so we went and bought the dress and we got the hair and makeup girl ready to go. And then we found out that she is not, as a freshman, is not allowed to go to high school homecoming. And so there was great wailing and moaning and gnashing.
She's in 9th grade. He's in 10th grade.
Yes, I said he was in high school. So it's ridiculous. So we spent the whole day turning my bridal salon into a homecoming dance for them for tomorrow night. So I'm a little tired. So I'm going to say nobody wants to do anything today. The dolls were creepy. My sister said that. Somebody said the dolls were a bit creepy. And when I was there, I thought, people are going to freak out about these dolls. And I am not somebody who's like creeped out by dolls at all. And even I was
I didn't even notice them.
There were some in the living room. There were some in the master bedroom, just kind of around.
My mom collects dolls. She loves dolls. They're not that creepy.
Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly says, obviously I'm the best auntie ever. I would agree with that.
Sacred Love Tarot says, I look wonderful.
You do look wonderful. Look at him.
Hey, where have you been? Sacred Love Tarot.
She today told me that she's taken some time away from Instagram. I told her we have missed her. It's been horrible.
Well, we love you guys and we miss you. Now we're just getting weather reports from around the world.
I love it.
It's great. Okay.
And Hannah, see, that's my thing too. She says that the Keyhole house was well loved and lived in, and they surrounded themselves with things they loved. And you know that that's my thing. I tell people all the time, your home is your space. It is your sanctuary. You should pack it full of things that when you are in that space, you're so happy. I hate it when people look at my house and are like, oh, it's so cluttered. No, you might think it's cluttered. Looking at these things makes me so happy. And I have a memory that goes with each of them. So you're exactly right. People should mind their business about somebody else's house.
Sacred Love Tarot says the dolls come alive at night and pull your hair out.
They probably do. Okay, so. No, I don't want to see the meme where there's Halloween decor that has dolls shaped trash bags out in front of the house. That's scary. That would freak me out. So should we get on to our news?
Yeah, we're almost 10 minutes in. Yes, we have news.
Well,
we have all kinds of news.
We have all kinds of news.
Some news we can tell you and some we can't.
News we can't. But so last week we went to Natchez,
Mississippi, and our only reason for going was we were going to video these houses, tour these houses. It was kind of a little bit of fun and a lot of work.
It was a work trip. Work trip. But that was literally the only reason for going.
Shooting those houses and we're
out of there. And we actually said, before we left, we said, we're not going to buy a house.
No, we have too many houses already.
When we bought Melly, we were like, we have too many houses. This is more than we can handle. We cannot buy another house. And then we went to Natchez.
Yes.
And we were touring a $3.8 million mansion.
Wait till you see that one.
We didn't buy that one.
No, we did not.
But what did the realtor say to us while we were touring the $3.8 million mansion?
Well, I don't really know the answer to this. I thought we said something to her.
No, she said, well, if you guys are looking for a house, because we kind of were telling her what we do and because she was asking us, now tell me who you are again and what you do. She'd watched our videos, but she was kind of, what is it that you do? And we'd kind of went into the whole, like, we save houses that have been abandoned or not lived in for a long time and would scare other people. And she said, well, I have this little house. It's not even on the market. This is how much he wants for it. And immediately my ears perked up because we like cheap women. You know that. We like cheap ladies.
Well, and Natchez is not a place to find a cheap lady by any means, especially on a good street.
Exactly.
And we were like,
good street,
okay,
where all the houses have been restored.
Yeah.
We should be clear on what that. Good street meaning like the houses have all been done.
Yeah.
Those kinds of houses start at $300,000 and they go up from there. And we don't spend that kind of money on houses. Sorry. So she told us the price.
And we were like, yeah, okay,
and I said,
well, we'll see.
Well, I said, no, we don't need another house.
Yeah.
Thanks. I actually said, no, we don't need it.
And then we were driving down the street and we actually saw one and thought, I wonder if that's it.
And we saw this cutie little cute. And we took a picture of it and we sent it to the realtor. And I sent it to her laughingly, like, if this is it, we'll take it. Thinking there was no way that was the house. Kevin?
It was. That was the house. And we actually got to see it that day, I guess, or the next day?
The next day.
The next day, we got in real quick. I mean, we were on our way out of town. Yeah. It was our last day. Yeah. We were on our way out. We walked in and said, We have a 1 minute video that is a walkthrough. It's part of what I used on the reel today, and that is how long we spent in the house. Pretty much how long we were there. And went around, looked under the house, and checked out some other things. But I mean, we were like, yes, original. You know, still got that, and we're like, let's do it. So we wrote an offer. It was accepted. We bought another house. Yeah. So we bought another house. So on on the social, the live photo there, that is beautiful. Pearl is her name. That's our little Mississippi River Pearl. Yeah, and she is, so it's that yellow house. She's really the smallest house on this amazing street of mansion after mansion after mansion. Well, let me tell about the street a little bit. Okay. We're really excited. You all know that we are just as passionate about the history of these homes and the communities that they're in as we are about the actual structure. And a lot of people don't know that the South did have at one time a thriving Jewish community. It has disseminated a little bit. Our Jewish communities have intermarried and they're not as strong as they used to be. But after the Civil War, it was the Jewish community that really helped rebuild a lot of the southern states during Reconstruction. They were a really strong merchant class, a really strong middle class that was able to come in and really revitalize a lot of areas. And the street that this house is on was all built by the strong Jewish community there in Natchez. So we have a lot of history about a community of people that we've not really been able to talk a lot about before. So we're really, really excited to be able to share that with you, as well as the redoing of this home, because it's a different topic that we've gotten to talk about before. So we're really excited. Everybody wants to see her, and I don't know if I'm smart enough to like add it, or if it's any way to add it. But I could show you a photo on my phone. I don't know if that would be any good. Can you guys see? Where's the camera, Laine? Right there. Can you see her? That's not bad. You can see her. That is beautiful Pearl. Somebody asked, is she Queen Anne? No, she would really be considered a folk Victorian, which is sort of a little bit of a hodgepodge of a lot of the different things that Victorian architecture had. It kind of put them all together and you get a folk Victorian, and that's what she is. Everybody loves the name Pearl, and they're happy for us. I'm glad you're all not going, oh my gosh, Rick, we need to find help for them. Ever. What is it? What color will you paint your hair at the new house? Best he knows us all too well. That's great. We're thinking it's going to be like, my hair is going to go cornflower. Love it. That's so funny. Let's see. What a fun, rewarding, and challenging career you two have. Yeah, we're just not sure exactly what we do for a living. This is not our career. This is our hobby. We have a career to pay for our hobby. I think we have like 8 side hustles. That's true. They're just all side hustles. I don't know. How many square feet is Pearl? She's right under 2,000 square feet. Right now, she's 2-bedroom, 1 bath. She's going to be turning into 2-bedroom, 2 bath. Natchez is a community that a lot of people retire to. I'm accustomed to having to take a house and make it 3-bedroom, 3 bath, or 3-bedroom, 4 bath. And so I was trying to figure that out in my brain.
And the realtor, and she's correct. She's absolutely correct. A lot of people in
And your
Natchez,
husband.
and my husband, yes, said two bedroom houses sell really well in Natchez because there are a lot of people who retire there, and
and especially, at least without children longer in the home.
Right, exactly.
Not necessarily retired, but at least grown children.
Oh, the realtor for sure saw us coming. Absolutely. She says the realtor saw us coming, but I will say,
who doesn't, right?
she was genuinely asking, like, what do you guys do? And now tell me again what this is that you do. She's a little bit older. And once we started explaining to her, she was like, why Pearl? Look, I know that you think I'm crazy.
Uh-oh.
That's fine. They tell me their names. They tell me. I walk up to a house and I know what its name is. And when I saw her, I just thought, that's Pearl. No clue. Don't know anybody named Pearl. Never met anybody named Pearl. Have no connection to Pearl whatsoever. But that's her name.
They want to know when they get to see the inside. Our video of the inside is pretty hideous.
Pretty bad. I put a reel on Instagram and TikTok, but we'll be going back in a couple weeks and we'll get a really good video of her for you. So somebody asks, what do we technically do with the houses? Hannah wants to know. And I'm glad you asked, Hannah. Many of the houses we keep. We have different things that we do with them, venues, Airbnbs.
It depends on the house and where it is. Our ultimate goal is to preserve these homes, rehab these homes, restore these homes.
To keep them out of hands of flippers.
Right. To do them the right way. And then once they're done, we want to sell them to a family that's going to enjoy those. This one we're most likely will sell.
Yeah, we think we're going to sell it.
So you could buy it.
Yes. Well, we have to. We had Fern. She was one of the ones that we rehabilitated. We did that one on Amelia Island, Florida. We kept her for 3 years. She was a home that we loved and we went and spent time in, but we did end up selling her, and she was what has funded the other projects that we've done so far. And so Miss Pearl hopefully will be able to help us save other homes down the line, because like we said, this isn't our career. This isn't what we do for a living. This isn't a big money making venture for us. So we have to have something that kind of, it needs to become a self-fulfilling prophecy where it rolls on its own a little bit.
Right. So many comments. I guess they're getting to see Pearl. She looks charming. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Do we worry about damage when we rent?
Yeah. So usually we're just like, you know what? We know it's a disaster. Whatever there is, we'll fix.
No. When we rent them.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Airbnbs.
I thought they meant when we buy them. Are we like getting? Yeah.
We've had pretty good experience with that. It's difficult. That it is difficult. I'm not going to paint that to be all sunshine and roses. It's not. When it's not someone else's space, people are not always respectful. Or it's the other problem. The bigger problem we've had is people then really think it's their space and like don't want to leave. And so, there are issues. I don't know that it's something I would recommend to people.
We've done it for quite a while. So our experiences are probably 99% good or 95% good. It's just a few people want to ruin the fun for everyone, don't they? Right.
This is why we can't have nice things. Let's see, who else has a question? We love Italianate too, Kate. Kate says she loves Italian. That's my favorite. There are hardly any of those in the South. Yeah. Italianate and Second Empire are almost impossible to find. So no luck for us yet.
Yeah.
Yes, Simply Southern Flair says they have 3 Airbnbs and they're a lot of work and screening guests is difficult. Right. And you're exactly correct.
They're typically hours from us anyway, so we can't get there and clean between. We've got to have somebody close that can handle any problems that they have.
Rita has a great question. Do we do an inspection before closing or are we 100% in? We never do an inspection.
Yes, that's what I was answering before, even though I was answering the wrong question.
You were answering the wrong question.
Yeah, we don't really typically do them because we understand that they are going to be in bad shape and we just take care of whatever's wrong.
Yeah. We go into the projects assuming that we're going to have to redo all the major mechanical systems. And then if we get in there and we don't, it's like, yay, what a great surprise. We know there's lead paint. We know the roof is asbestos. I can look at it and see. It's not hard to tell those things. We crawled underneath the foundation really quickly. Looked like there was no sign of termite damage, but we know how to look for that. and we are down to fix whatever. Everything can be fixed. We've said it before. There's literally nothing except for complete annihilation that you can't fix. And even complete annihilation you can fix if you have the budget and the time.
Yeah. But again, I mean, we made a wise purchase, or I guess it'll be seen when we sell the house.
Right.
But we want to buy it at a certain price. We know how much it's going to cost to fix it, and we know what it will sell for. But which is what you should always do. There was a question I was going to answer. What is the main thing that sold you on the house?
Well, for me, it was all the original elements that are still in the house.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. It's got great curb appeal. It is the smallest house on a fantastic street, which is what they always say to buy, as long as you can get it for the right price. And but tile and light fixtures, I think, what sold us on this.
Yeah, the light fixtures and tile.
Light fixtures.
Keep trying to decide whether it stays in the house or it comes to mine, because it's an original Art Nouveau light fixture.
Something else, yeah. But yeah, those things, the original features, that's what always going to get us.
We don't think we're going to buy any of the furniture inside Pearl. It may be available. It was another one like Melly. It was owned by a judge. So that seems to be a theme we have going on right now. Owned by a judge. His mother lived in it. She passed away. It has been empty for 10 years since her death. He's been very emotionally attached to it. Hasn't been able to let it go. So we were just very lucky that we came along at the right time when he was finally. Somebody else said show it. We're very lucky we came along at the right time.
There she is. Yeah, the timing was perfect.
It literally was perfect timing. And we probably could buy the furniture if we wanted to, and there were some nice pieces in there, but I don't think we will.
We don't know any family history really on this house yet. We know very little about it so far.
Yeah.
I mean,
when I say to you, we bought it.
We really don't even know
this weekend. We know
what year it was built, which is going to take some discovery.
Yeah, I think about 1885, but
we know approximately, but
we don't know if the fireplaces are working. We have no idea. That's something else that we'll find out.
We have not restored something besides a house, but we've looked at several not office buildings, but buildings. We've never taken one on though. I'd like to.
Somebody says, do we watch other YouTubers doing restoration? No. And let me tell you why. I am a preservation restorationist. I can't watch other people do it because if say someone makes the decision to remove their historic windows, which are irreplaceable,
she goes off.
I can't handle that well. If somebody takes out original tile, I can't handle that well. And it's not my house. It's not my money. It's not my investment. So why am I going to add that stress and upset and angst to my life when it's not my project? It's their project. I can't protect that property from any damage that's being done by those owners because they don't understand the damage that they're doing. So I generally don't. Now, there are a lot of accounts I follow on Instagram because it's easier to you can kind of create your community there and parse through people who are very like-minded. There's a lot more personal interaction. So you know people who are like truly like-minded to you. But I save myself grief by not.
I've got 3 questions I want to answer real quick. Somebody asked, would you ever do one up north? It's actually, we've told you many times, we do not like the cold, but it's burning up hot down here in the summer. If we ever found one that we could work on during the summer a little further north, then maybe we'd do that. Oh shoot, I'm going to forget the other ones. The house on Amelia Island does not have a video. We just didn't really do videos.
We've been doing this for 20 years, and we didn't start any social media until.
We wish we did so bad. We've got some great ones that we've done in the past, but we barely have photos of them.
Somebody the other day wanted some before and afters of our previous projects, and I was like, we didn't even take before and afters.
We took a few photos, and they were printed like, back you did in the day, and who knows where those are even.
Helen says it's difficult to find anyone to work with you on restoration. It is difficult. And that's why one of the things that we tell people all the time when you're going into a project is interview. You've got to find somebody who is like-minded, who will get on board with you, even if they're not an old house person. If they don't understand that it's your money and it's your project and you're going to do it the way you want it to do, then you don't want to work with them anyway. And Helen, it's even more difficult when you're a woman trying to do that because you run into people who want to naysay you sometimes just because you're a woman. That becomes very, I get that on here all the time. People want to tell me.
Tell them about our yes man.
But we have an incredible
just carpenter. Tell them, what we look for.
Look for a yes man.
Yes.
If you are interviewing a contractor and you say to him, I want to pick this house up and move it 40 feet, his answer should be yes. If that's what you want to do, we will find a way to do it, because they will find a way to do it. It's the guys who you say, you know what, I really would like my silver faucet in my bathroom to be gold, and he immediately says, no, I don't think you want to do that.
No. Yeah, if the first word is no out of their mouth, and there are a lot of people, and that's just a lazy way of doing things.
They're just lazy. They don't want to do it.
They don't want to figure out the way to do things. Sometimes, because you'll run across, especially when you're doing these old houses, you're going to run across some issues, and you're going to have to solve problems. So you need somebody that's a problem solver. You need somebody
who's a problem solver and who wants to be on your team, who wants to help you and stay on your team with you.
And someone else was asking too about, have we had trouble finding materials lately? We have had some issues with materials and had to kind of veer off into, we can't get that. We've got to get that. And we've had to put some things on hold. Yes, we've definitely dealt with that. And then also the prices of things have been higher, and so we've been trying to deal with that too.
Lumber's coming back down. It's much closer to where it was a couple years ago than it was a year ago. Things are getting better. It's getting easier, but we really did kind of put all of our project. We want to build up the second floor here in Scotty, and we just put that on complete hold. I'm not buying a stick of lumber when it's 400% increase in price.
The price would be twice. Sacred Love Tarot loves yes men.
Oh, so somebody asks a question about the coved ceilings in the last video. Man, that is just a design element, and something that we forget in modern building is that there was a time when houses were designed to be as aesthetically pleasing in every inch of the home as they possibly could be.
That one is.
Every detail was taken into account, from instead of having a plumb squared ceiling, you have a coved ceiling, down to your door hardware. The hinges of your doors have beautiful patterns on them. We no longer live in that world. We live in a world of fiberglass hollow core doors. So it was just
from Puerto Rico. Somebody said, speaking of moving houses, you want to give them a real quick what every house is doing?
Willa.
We're trying to move Willa still, but we have no date and we have no answers still from Georgia Power and AT&T.
Our mover met with them 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Said they were having prices that
Monday. They met Friday. They said they would have prices that Monday. He still has not got prices back from them. I am about to lose my mind because Georgia Power will just not work with us. Go ahead. Sorry.
Driving us crazy. You've seen us working on Millie and Janie quite often. Helen in Helena, Arkansas is kind of on hold while we're doing paperwork. How many other houses do we have? Is that it?
Those are the ones we're working on. Wow.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, Helen's doing
that's your quick overview, and we do have a video project overview that talks about each one of them. It will remind you what they look like and where we are on them. And honestly, materials have had us drag our feet a little bit.
Thank you, Terry. If we had to choose out of all, thank you, Terry Eplin Clean, for the top chat. This is our first top chat ever, Terry. Yay. You win. If we had to choose out of all the houses, which has been your most favorite and why? I think for me, probably my most favorite was Fern, which was the one we did in Amelia Island, only because once we finished her, I have never had a house that was so comfortable to live in. It was beautiful. We did it exactly like we wanted it because we thought it was going to be our retirement home.
I totally agree.
It was.
I mean, this house is fantastic, but that one was 2 minutes from the beach. So.
Yes, 2 minutes from the beach. We could open the windows.
Weather was so great. Oh, that's the other thing I loved about that one. We had it completely fenced, and you guys know we have 1 million dogs. Our 8 dogs could go out the front door, out the back door. It was just freedom of movement.
This huge side porch. They could come lay on the front porch with us. It was so good.
Yeah, lots of great things about that one. We missed that house.
We do. It was 13 and a half hours away from here, and we sold it. My father had a heart attack. He's fine. He's good. But it was kind of one of those we realized we didn't. Our parents are, both of our sets of parents are still living, but mine are in their 70s. His are nearing their 80s. And so we decided we did not want to be that far away anymore. I'm never going to recover from it.
Thank you for the question, Terry.
Thank you, Terry, for the top chat. Yeah. That's so exciting. I didn't even know that could happen. Let's see.
I don't know what that means. Which YouTube? Which YouTuber?
Have we ever come across a home with a cemetery on the property? My dream. Yes, and maybe we have a
maybe in Natchez we have some. Yeah. Somebody asked, did we video the $3.8 million house? Yes, we did.
So that was going to be coming up on a house tour.
And guys, I got a new drone and I'm flying it all around. It's awesome.
Let's see.
I'm glad you had to stop me for that since you were.
Let's see. Sorry. Oh, Carly's seen Fern in person.
Isn't Fern beautiful?
What's the oldest house we've restored?
I really wish we had a video of her. Well, yeah, I mean, completely, but we have an 1858. It's older than her.
No, somebody says, what is the oldest house we've restored?
Oh, I thought you said that's the oldest house.
What is the oldest house we've restored? 1858. Helen's 1858. Now, Louise had a section in the back that was actually 18th century. Her back left corner, which would have been the primary bedroom in the back corner, was 18th century. But we all know what happened there. So.
Yes, we want to come to the English Riviera.
Yes, we do.
Oh, you have an 1875 restoration going on there.
Do we have problems sourcing old items when you find they've been removed in a remodel?
She's the queen of finding that kind of stuff.
I love nothing more than a good scavenger hunt. Somebody else asked, where do we source antique tile? I follow 10,000 architectural salvage places on Instagram, and I will have something shipped that, let me tell you what, Facebook Marketplace, you can find some fantastic architectural salvage that people are selling for rock bottom prices.
They don't know what they
just want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And you can have it shipped with U-Ship from all over the country for very reasonable.
They want to know about the Starkville house.
Is Bo no longer an option? Bo ended up, much like Willa, we had already purchased Willa when we realized how difficult this move was going to be. We had not financially committed to the Starkville house to Bo yet. I mean, it was $1, but there was obviously there was more to it than that. We hadn't purchased land, etc. We got one person to come out and quote, just moving the house, not lifting the power lines, not doing anything else. And it was over $250,000. And then we've got to buy the land, and then we've got to move the power lines, and then we have to set the house, and then we have to restore it. So that was one that we knew we could either save that one house or like 4 other ones. So we did decide to go ahead and pass. Yeah,
but at this point, that does not look like it will happen. We wish we had a great salvage place next to us. There was actually one in Jacksonville, Florida. So when we were working on Fern, it was about 30 minutes away. I think.
Pretty close.
And we'd go down there and just like walk around and all the great things. I know. We wanted to buy all the things. We ended up buying several things from them.
Have any of the homes we've restored been kind of creepy while working on them? I don't find them creepy at all.
No, we find them so beautiful. I'm sure other people would find them creepy. We don't really find them creepy.
No, not at all. The creepier the better for me. Now, this house, when we bought it, looked like a serial killer's house. It really did. Again, on our Instagram, we have some before and afters. They'd come in here, they'd drop the ceiling, and they'd put brown paneling on every wall. They'd close off some of the windows. It was dark. It really did look like a 1970s serial killer house.
This one?
Mm-hmm, I think.
Ivy wants to know if we have any children, and that her and her husband are child-free, and they want to own and restore homes. We are child-free. Now, we never had children. We have 8 furry children.
We'll answer that question first. Ivy, we do not have children. We were never able to have children. We tried. We couldn't. And then decided that we were a family without them. And we loved to just be in the 2 of us.
Yes.
Had a great time.
We are on a constant adventure.
Yes, we are.
The 2 of us. Okay.
And we can buy houses instead of pay for college. Well, we got another Talk Chat from First Gen Hun. Greetings from Central Ohio. Love your channel. What's your cutoff period for homes 60s, 70s, 80s? Really 30s.
30s, yeah, that's what I'd say. Our newest house that we ever did was 1933.
And that was too new for me.
We had a 1951.
We did have a 51.
How can we forget it?
Gosh. We sold her.
Yeah, that was a very cute house. It wasn't a typical, really, 1951. It was more of a cabin.
Well, no. I would say it sat on a little lake, and the interior was very colonial revival. Like the exterior was mid-mod, but the interior, you could tell it had been built right at the end of the 40s. It was like he said, 51. So they probably were using some plans from the 40s. So it still felt, it had all the elements inside of a colonial revival from the 40s. But if we're just looking for a house, that one we bought because we kind of like looked into it.
That one was the land. It had 12 acres with a 6-acre lake with a spring-fed lake. It was an amazing property. The house, it used to have a Victorian on that property that burned, right? That one in Cave Spring, Georgia, a population 1,200. It's an amazing town. You guys should go there if you're ever close.
Rick wants to know what's the best treasure we've ever found in a house that we bought for restoration. I'm going to say that's the whole story of Marjorie May and her pilot that died in World War II, and the engagement ring that we found in Janie. We had no idea, zero when we bought the house, and we found this incredible history. Yeah,
and that's all out there for you guys to see. Now, we did find amazing treasures in the yard in Amelia Island, Florida. We actually had somebody that was very good at metal detecting, had all the equipment. He came over and helped us. We found some great things in the yard there.
Yeah, so that was fun.
It was an old captain built
ship captain's house. It was really cool.
We found an old button and an old
musket.
Basketball.
Not a musket. We had a musket ball. Christina wants to know how we store our salvage goodies. Girl, we got a 1,500 square foot empty attic up there. You see those stairs behind me?
Yeah.
We trudge up and down there. I've got 2 sinks, 42 beds, 72 mirrors. There's no telling what I have.
We had a storage place, and that didn't work out. We moved it all out to the storage place, and then moved it all back out. So,
somebody wants to know: do you know of any architects, builders that build new Victorian and Queen style homes?
Boy,
no. Here's the problem. Hang on, Terry. Oh my gosh! So the reason we don't promote that is because the materials are no longer created to give you the proper proportion and dimension to create a Victorian style home. 2x4s are no longer 2x4s. Windows are no longer made to the right scale. So no matter what you do today, if you build a new Victorian.
I have one friend.
But that is not a Victorian.
Not a Victorian. No, you're right.
That was a Greek revival.
It's not, but it is the best new Greek revival I've ever seen. Oh no,
hang on, because we got some top chat. So Terry Upland Clean again wants to know, since I'm new and catching up, what made y'all decide to do this? Ever consider touring a house in Dallas on Swiss Avenue? Beautiful homes.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
You don't know about Dallas. I was born in Dallas, Terry. So
we've been to Dallas many times, but we've never been down Swiss Avenue. I would like to.
What made us decide to do this? We both love architecture. And I love history. So when he wasn't really a history buff when we married, but he loved architecture. And when I started introducing him to historic architecture and he could see the quality and craftsmanship, we just were addicted. Yeah. You want to read this question?
Yes, but I'll also say to that, we are so in awe of the craftsmanship of the people that built these houses without all the power tools that we own and everything else that I'm in awe every time I walk into one of those houses. My husband and I love.
Wait, let's see who it is. It's RP White 4.
My husband and I love you both. We would love to meet you someday. Peggy from Pennsylvania. Thank you for being a great example of bringing a house back. Love to visit some of the houses you have.
We love to have you.
We would love to show you around. And actually, we do that all the time when we're there working. People stop in and we give them little tours all the time. And Pennsylvania has amazing houses. My brother lives in New York. So someday we may go up that direction and, video some houses that way, because the houses up there in the Northeast, everyone knows, are great.
Daniel, another top chatter. He says, hi, Laine Kevin. I love you on YouTube and Instagram. I love Cheer Tuesday. It makes me so hard.
We need a new one, don't we?
I know Daniel. Like, we interact a lot. And I love Daniel, and he is amazing. He is a good supporter and friend. And yes, I haven't done Tiara Tuesday in a couple weeks because I, honest to goodness, felt like I was encouraging trolls. Like, after I do Tiara Tuesday, I seem to get a lot of negative comments.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
So I've kind of like laid off of it a little bit, but it may be time for the queen to make.
I told her to just don't believe them. Just think, oh, I just wanted to get on Tiara Tuesday. I didn't really mean it. Something else we should say while we're here, which we haven't really said in person to these people. To our friends, is thank you so much, all of you that participated in the fundraising we did for the Louisiana hurricane. We were able to donate $1,601 to the Cajun Navy, which is a fantastic organization that Laine found. And they are there on the ground, boots on the ground, working, and we were able to donate all that money to them thanks to you. So
yes,
thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Let's see. New England has great places. Look, I would love to do a house in New England.
Yeah.
It's just so far away. And the problem is we travel with our tools and you can't like fly to New England with a skill saw, you know? So it's so far away for us. It's like a 20-hour drive to get to we really looked at a house in New Hampshire that I wanted so badly, but we just couldn't figure out how to make it work. That's been, no, that was in Carolina.
Oh.
That was the one that was $1 in New Hampshire. You remember the cutie little Gothic
Victorian?
Victorian?
Yeah, that one was beautiful.
I talked to the guy, he was amazing, but we just couldn't figure out how to get up there.
Yeah, and even the houses that we do locally that are 2 and 3 hours away, we load up our car, and we take our trailer, and we take as much as we can, but every time we're there, we're like, oh no, I needed this and I don't have it.
History lover, thank you. Did we see the Gothic Revival link I sent to you? It's in Springer, New Mexico.
Man, I don't remember that. Shoot, I did see one the other day that I didn't show you. I think that was amazing, but I don't think it was in New Mexico.
Did you send it on Instagram or did you send it on Facebook?
Oh man, I don't remember that one. Let me see. We love Gothic Revival though.
Look, Gothic Revival is my jam.
And, yeah, New Mexico. I used to have family in New Mexico. Our carpenter Cooper is calling while we're online. I guess he doesn't know.
How far is the new house from our house? It's about 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours. So it's not. We can do it in a day.
Yeah, it's not a terrible drive.
2 days of work, drive back, so it's not bad at all.
And we're going to be able to live in it, stay in it while we're there, which is saves us a lot of money because we've had them where we had to stay in a hotel some, and boy, you go through money quick.
And we think that we can get it done in about 6 months. Now we have another, we've got Melly going on and we're sort of right in the middle of her. And so we don't want to just drop that and go do this one in Natchez. So we're trying to kind of figure out how to juggle the two really at the same time because we do so much of the work ourselves. But we think we can get her done in about 6 months. And
I will say too, we do have some things that we're kind of sitting on, that we can't exactly talk about.
Because we don't know if they're going to come to fruition.
I will tell you, we're going to do some exciting things in the next month and a half to Melly that is going to be cool to watch.
Really
and we can't wait to show you guys what we're going to do there. We're going to get after it.
So this is great. When you continue these live streams, this is better than cable.
Well, I know we've talked about that we need to do like a regular one. We've got over 300 people right now. Thank you guys.
What doesn't Cooper? Sorry. Carpenter Cooper. That's our carpenter is Bill Cooper. We do a lot of the carpentry ourselves, but we laugh all the time and say some things need 6 hands rather than 4 hands. And Bill is an amazing carpenter and he travels with us. He goes to our projects with us. So he's about to move down to Monticello. For instance, we have to replace the seal beams in the house, which are so when a house is built on pier and beam, there are sill beams that run the exterior perimeter that the house sits on, and those have rotted away. So we're going to have to jack up the house and replace those sill beams. Well, we need one more set of hands for that. So Bill's going to come help us.
Somebody found a $10,000 diamond ring under their wooden floor. So
okay, you win.
Raymond, good job, man. Raymond. Good night. That's amazing.
Another super chat
How did they not find that?
Michelle.
Oh my
gosh, I was trying to read it as a first name, last name. Do we worry about theft or vandalism since the houses are open in a way and people know they're empty?
Yes, we do. We do. We've got a security system in Helen. Willa is right there.
It's next to the police department.
It's well looked after by our friends there.
Melly is in a place, because of what she's surrounded by, there is a lot of police patrol right around her, a lot. So we feel, and the thing that we know about Melly and Janie, they really were completely abandoned for 7 solid years. Janie was full of family treasures. There was a complete set of sterling silver flatware. It sold in the estate, so we didn't get it. And several other things that were just in that house, and it was never touched.
But I will say, it is a real concern. When people see construction going on, they think, oh, there are power tools there. We don't leave a lot of things there. Like we said, we take them with us and we bring them back. So there's not a whole lot there to steal.
Things that
but we've had things
find.
stolen. Well, in this house that we're in, we had all of the copper stolen. Have we had any other theft? I'm trying to remember.
They took the copper gutters off of Fern with the original box copper gutters. They stripped the copper gutters. And then this house, we can laugh about it now. This house is the most expensive project we've ever done because it was in the worst shape. And we had spent every penny we had, and we weren't going to have to replace the plumbing because it was all copper. And I came over here one day and went to turn on the front yard spigot, and the whole head, the spigot just turned around and around and around, which means they had cut the copper piping underneath it and they had just stripped it all out. So there you go.
And it's so sad because they got very little for the copper.
Yeah, penny. I would have paid them $300 not to steal my copper.
Well, we probably, if they'd have come to us and said that, we probably would have just called the cops.
Well, somebody wants to know if we've ever visited Savannah, Georgia. Savannah is my favorite city in the United States. We've been many, many times. When we lived in Fernandina Beach, it was an hour away, so we could just scoot up the interstate. But I toured it for the first time about 20 years ago. Would live there in an instant. It's one of those places I'm so mad that I didn't buy a home there 20 years ago. Of course, I could not have afforded one then, but it is our favorite place.
All right, Rick wants to know what my next tool purchase is. And Rick, let me just tell you, today I was watching videos.
Oh no, Rick!
It's very cheap though.
Okay.
They've got these, I'm going to forget the name of it, but it's an automatic drill that screws in, you put your screws in for your drywall. Zip. We need one bad.
Okay.
Also today I was watching which one is better. But that's probably going to be my next tool that I buy.
We have all the really expensive ones.
Yeah, I think. We're pretty well set. We could always use more.
Yes. Why are my floors painted white and not natural wood? All right, Daniel, that is a good question.
Daniel, here's the truth behind our floors.
Again, when I tell you that we spent every penny we had at the time on this house and then had to borrow about $50,000 more to finish it, because it was so bad. When we pulled up the carpet in this house, we thought we were going to be able to keep the original floors. Our carpenter started walking on them and started falling through the floors because they were so termite eaten. Our carpenter actually tore his rotator cuff, falling through the floor and catching himself on the joists. We were so out of money that I sourced not firsts, not seconds, not thirds, but fourth quality. No, they were fourth quality white oak. They're 3/4 white oak, but they have a ton of knot holes.
Yeah, and that's after we had to buy like 30% extra.
Yeah,
because we had to cut so much out and throw it out because it was so bad. But there were lots of issues with these floors that we actually had to putty holes and knot holes.
So once you putty all that, we tried whitewash. Oh, here's something else that happened. We don't use this carpenter anymore. Our carpenter bought polyurethane like a year before he was going to polyurethane the floors. We really didn't know he'd done it, and he stored it in a hot outside warehouse. Well, that turns polyurethane yellow. So we were going to whitewash the floors. So the first thing we did is we whitewashed the floors, and they were stunning. They were beautiful. You couldn't really see the putty marks because it kind of blended in. Then he put that year-old polyurethane that had been in the 105-degree heat for a year on the floor, and it turned sunshine yellow. So then we were kind of left with no choice. It was either sand it down, try to figure out something else to do, or paint them white. We painted them white. I love them. It brightens up the space. And our dogs, big fingernails, don't damage the wood. They don't scratch it.
It's been amazing, really. They are encouraging me to get that screwdriver. I need it.
There you go.
I need it in my life. So I will definitely get it, Michelle. There were several here that we need a diamond now that we have a pearl.
Love that.
They're encouraging us to buy more houses.
Hey, Rasmus, you were so gracious telling us how to deal with the clock, with the dogs. I remember you telling me this is how you can fix it and this is how you can keep it from scaring your dog. My Gus is the love of my life. If you all follow us on Instagram, you know that I love this man more than life itself, and then I love Gus more than that. And he is scared of all, like, the ticking of the clock would freak him out, and he's very elderly.
And y'all, look, I clip my fingernails. He stands up and looks at me like, "What are you doing?" Runs out of the room.
Yeah, so
yeah, he's.
I am happy to accommodate his emotional needs.
We don't really look at that clock to know what time it is
anyway. This is how I know what time it is.
Yeah,
that's just.
I stopped wearing a wristwatch several years ago.
Let's see. Oh, somebody says, I have a question for Laine. How does your makeup always look so flawless and after, even after working and sweating? Look, I was born in the South and my mama raised me that you put your face on no matter what. So now I don't like the way I look without makeup on. Like I feel naked. I use Revlon Color Stay Foundation and it will not come off. I can fall flat in a mud puddle, wipe my face off, and the face is still going to be there. It's just, that's all it is to it. It is no special skill. Now my niece is calling me.
I know. We've been going 50 minutes. Should we go an hour and call it off then? Maybe?
What do we think of Ben and Erin Napier? I think of all of the design shows, Ben and Erin do one of the finest jobs of doing rehabilitation. It's not restoration, it's not preservation, but they tend to be sensitive. They don't hit every mark that I would hit, obviously, because they're not into history like I am. But I feel like they're much more respectful of the homes and their integrity than a lot of other designers are. And I like Erin's design style. I think she's got really nice design style. It doesn't look like everything else that's out there.
They do up at the top of the show. They talk about who built the house originally. Right. That's something that we like too. And the other thing that they do is they don't necessarily knock everything out and put all new in. They want to do it on a budget and a realistic budget, which is something that we try to do as well.
Somebody says, oh, geez, the guy that says you know a whole lot about X for a girl. I get it all the time. And let me tell you what, people in our comment section want to correct me or argue with me and mansplain me.
If you haven't figured it out yet, this girl's brain is really big. She's super smart.
I don't like it when people want to mansplain
Don't even mess with her. That's all I can tell you.
And I went to school on a debate scholarship. So let me tell you what. Terry,
Terry, you're so nice to us.
Why do some people convert a gasolier into electric? For safety reasons. Yes, 100% for safety reasons. Now, a lot of people, so if you want to maintain a gasolier as a gasolier in 2021, you really need to rerun all of your gas lines. Well, to rerun those gas lines, that means you've got to go through your lath and plaster, which is incredibly expensive to do. You've got to run all new gas lines from the floor because most of our modern gas lines, like we have out here, are high pressure gas lines, and the old gas lines in a 100-year-old house can't handle that high pressure delivery. So they have to reroute those, and that can be thousands of dollars. So it's much easier to take it down, wire it for electric, still a beautiful functional light, and you've saved your lath and plaster, and you've saved yourself thousands of dollars.
I will say the home that we did a video of, not this Victorian, but the last Victorian that we did, had working gasoliers. And gasoliers,
They had working gasoliers.
It was really beautiful.
So if you haven't seen that one.
They did an amazing job with that house. We just love to highlight those. We love to see them when we think you love to see them. That's why we do those videos.
She's glad she wasn't raised in America, the South, because she hates wearing makeup. Look. Not everybody feels this way down here. Some people do. It is a cultural thing. I think I shouldn't make excuses. I do think it's a cultural thing. We just, feminine beauty in different parts of the world is viewed differently, and ours down here, a lot of it's smoke and mirrors. Is restoration for everyone? No, absolutely not. John Keller wants to know if restoration is for everyone. Absolutely not. It is a work of passion. It is a work of dedication. You have to realize that you're preserving history.
Right. So you need to be educated in what you're doing, or you will make mistakes, and costly mistakes.
Costly
original windows.
Or you'll burn out.
All right.
Burnout is one thing that we see a lot of. There's this big trend toward young people buying cheap houses that are very old. And what we see with a lot of those young people is they buy this really inexpensive old house, having no idea what's going to go into its restoration, preservation, or rehabilitation. And they get a third of the way in and they burn out, they get mad, they leave the project, and then they leave a bigger mess for somebody to clean up after them. It's not for everybody.
And I will say too, going beyond that, somebody asked, well, I forgot what they asked now, but anyway.
He's forgotten.
I know. Well, what I look at, they said their dad thinks they're crazy for going to get a fixer-upper. The way I look at it is, we walk into a house and I see this house has already been framed. It's already got all of this. It's got this. It's got this. It's got this. Now that's rotting. It needs a new roof. It needs that. Right. But it's like 70% there.
Yeah.
So 70% of a house.
Yep.
I don't look at it like it's falling down.
Like 30% of it's falling down.
You know, this is, and these guys that built it use sturdy wood, strong wood. They're master craftsmen.
Yep.
So I just think it's most of the way there. Just take it the rest of the way.
Yes. Let's see. Rick wants to know what I'll portray in my next commercial. I'm a lawyer a lot, Rick. I'm a lawyer a whole lot. Often one time I had to be a cheerleader. That was weird. So
that was
weird.
just like a goofy commercial. But
what else have I been?
funny.
I've been a student. Many times I've been a student.
Oh,
I'm too
yeah.
old to do that now.
I've been a student many times.
Someone
too.
else asked us how long we've been married. Last July was our 25th wedding anniversary. We are old people who've been married a long time.
And then about 4 days will be 26 years since we met.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
5 days.
Let's see. Lots of people from the South saying Mom taught us to wear makeup. Oh, thank you, April. She likes our channel because we teach about the dates and what the history is and what the part of the house is. And thank you for saying that, because we also get a lot of people going, that woman needs to shut up and quit talking. We don't care about what she has to say. And, you know, we like to educate you. There's lots of real estate channels out there. What's the point of taking you on a home tour if you're not going to learn something on the way through?
Yeah. Guys, you got to know, we hate what you do there and we hate what you do there. And we always try to find the happy medium. I mean, we want to give you guys stuff that you want to see. Everybody's
talking about how much they hate people who paint things gray. I hate gray.
Laine never stopped talking. She won't.
Wants me to stop talking. If I have to hear one more commenter say, "Oh, that woman never shuts up," you guys are wonderful. How do we manage disagreement and conflict? That's a very good question, because I think on a lot of restoration shows they really focus. Well, I think there are a lot of people who don't handle it well, and so we see that on TV.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben and Aaron are a great example. I mean, they're very respectful to each other, and we're not always going to agree, but honestly, our fights are nothing.
They're just,
and we
will sometimes snip at each other because we get hot, we get tired, we get hungry. And I will tell you that one thing that we each get frustrated with each other about is because we've been together for so long and we are so in tune and so in sync with each other. It's difficult when one of us sees something or has an idea and we can't just get it into the other person's head. Oh, that's like the one time we'll fight. But we really, if we get where we're snippy at each other, we know that we need to rest
or eat.
And if we'll just stop and take a break and cool off, we will pretty quickly see that we're just reacting to, I got too hot, I got too hungry.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated because I'm trying to get this peg in this wall and I can't get it in, and it has nothing to do with you. But you could come work with us for days and days and days and would not ever see us disagree.
And
we're very blessed.
We'll just do marriage counseling for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is I always try to look at the big picture. The big picture is we're completely there for each other and we love each other and we have each other's best interest at heart. So if this one little disagreement comes up, it's so minor in the big picture. Yeah. And
we started out our marriage. I remember like before we even got married.
I raised her right.
He did raise me right. But he looked at me and said, okay, if we're going to get married and we're going to be married, we're the team. It's Laine and Kevin against everyone and everything else. Not really against, but we face everything together as the team. And that's how we've done everything in our marriage, whether it was dealing with our infertility or, losing a job or a parent's been sick or any of those things. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's got my back and he knows I have his back, period. Against anybody, whether it's a parent or a sibling or a friend,
that's right.
A job. So everything that we do comes from that place. And that place keeps a lot of that other tension and stupidity that you see on TV from ever happening.
We're two halves of a whole. So if you know that, if you understand that, then you're good to go.
They do paint the exact color of the drywall.
And yes, we are best friends. That's right.
We are, yes. Let's see.
I had somebody else ask us about what is our favorite period of home. It's kind of like that one.
Anything, I keep saying I want a really old home, like I want a federal home, 18th century.
Those are not my favorite.
Our favorite period is 1875 to 90. Right in there. Somebody mentioned a Gothic revival earlier. That is our favorite style. It's that
Mansard
Second Empire
roof is what we're looking
and
for.
Italianate. Those are our three. And if we could buy those houses over and over and over and over, we would.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of them.
Yeah, they're harder to come by.
Ride or die. That's right. He's my ride or die. How did we meet? We have a whole video on how we met. You should go watch it because it tells the whole story.
It's insane and stupid.
We
have a restoration ship. Do y'all like that?
Yeah, that's what we say. We have a restoration
That's on the
ship.
website.
Let's see.
1890 for the win.
Have we ever got a house that was haunted? I hate to keep saying we have a whole video, but there's a whole video on
your assignment
ghost
for
stories.
the night is to go watch every one of
Terry,
these.
stop it. You're too sweet. Let's see. Last time, can you post your IG and Facebook links? I would love to follow you both. It's the same as this. So our Instagram is at Our Restoration Nation and Facebook is Our Restoration Nation. Instagram is where you can interact with me. I'm on there. It's kind of turned into my job. I feel like interacting with my community there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to say too, because we do have our videos monetized on YouTube, and those do help us fund a lot of the things that we do. So please watch those. But we also want to interact with you, and you can see that because she is on Instagram constantly, and we get nothing from that. So, I mean, and you know, she is out there putting up great stuff for you guys to see. She's interacting with you. She answers questions constantly. Wow, Jennifer.
Jennifer, you don't even have a question?
Jennifer, did you accidentally not make a question? If you have one, put it down there.
Thank you.
We will answer it.
Oh, there's birds flying.
We're being attacked by birds. Doves. They're lovebirds.
They are lovebirds.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, some people are willing to buy and restore homes that a famous murder happened in. I might be one of those people. Look, you guys need to know I have a weirdly macabre side.
Yeah, you know.
I collect casket plaques.
Should we tell people what is in our yard? They're going to think we're crazy.
Tombstones. I have tombstones that were decommissioned from a cemetery. They're
in our yard.
I think they're beautiful, and I think they're such beautiful remembrances of people who are gone.
Yes.
I think it's so sad that
you have a healthy understanding of death, and you know, and understand that we are all going to die, then it's not that weird a thing.
Kimberly, thank you, Kimberly Belton. She says her husband and I are also maximalists, but way more cluttered. Thank you so much for all you do in the entertaining videos. Look, you get to live one time, right, Kimberly? One time. If you see something and it speaks to your soul and you have room in your budget for it, you can find room in your house for it. And that's all there is to it. And I do not apologize for that. I don't make any excuses about it. If that's how you're happy to live, that's how you're happy to live. That's how I'm happy to live.
I know.
Have we started the fabric out for the walls yet? Picking fabric out for the walls.
We're still we keep going back and forth on what we're going to do with the walls there.
Yeah.
I will say this too. Laine is the designer for sure.
Oh, thank
but
you.
I'm also a graphic artist. I know color, I know scheme, and I have taste, I think. She consults with me on this stuff.
It's a team effort.
She says, do you like this? And sometimes I say no. Sometimes she listens to me. Sometimes she doesn't. But, you know, we usually can agree on, you know, what things, how we decorate. He doesn't want me to paint any walls pink, but that's the only thing. I'm kind of against that. But, you know, she did this bathroom pink and I live in it. So what can I say? But we had it. We like the idea of the fabric, but we're so far out on Millie from really deciding. We're kind of thinking, like, as much as I hate to put drywall in a historic home, she's never had lath and plaster. And I'm thinking the drywall would add an extra layer of insulation in the house. Oh, should we just go ahead and tell them what we're going to do in Millie? I think we could. What do you mean? I told them, you know, we were going to get after it. Tell them. Yeah. So we are going to completely do the master bathroom, hall bathroom, and closet, and just like do it all. Now the rest of the house is going to wait, but we're going to do those rooms so you can completely watch us over the next month and a half. You can see it all, and it's going to be really cool. We've got great design plans for that. Wow. Florida Clay. Oh, is that? That's not our friend Clay Coburn, is it? Thank you, Clay. My retired life. Am I a murderino? Yes, I am. I'm like an OG murderino. Hey. Okay, I think we started listening at episode 3. And if you haven't watched the podcast listen to the podcast, Laine and her sister do Twisted Sister History,
Twisted
you need to
Sister
go
History.
listen to that. It's fantastic. It's hilarious. You guys will love it, and you will learn something.
Yes.
We've had several questions about Frank Lloyd Wright. I like Frank Lloyd Wright more than she does. I did the tour of homes in Chicago, and I do like them quite a bit. They are a little dark for me.
Yeah, I don't like the low ceilings. That's my problem with Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
I need a tall ceiling. And to
Some
me,
of the elements I like more than others,
Right.
but there's usually a lot of dark.
Ginger, thank you. Ginger
Thank
Moore
you.
asks, are you going to come to North Carolina?
Hey.
It hasn't been asked this time, or I haven't seen it. This is hard to keep up with these questions.
Yes.
Love North Carolina.
Man, we drove through North Carolina last year in July.
Yep.
And we're driving through going, if we'd have stopped in a town, we'd have bought
a house. We would have
for
bought a house.
sure. We didn't stop really in a downtown and look around.
Yeah.
We were kind of going through, but man.
One of our favorite, that Francis Scott Key House was in North Carolina.
Right.
I wanted it so badly. It was very expensive it was $175,000. We like to spend under 100,000, under 50, if we can keep it under 50. And that one was 175. And we just went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then it sold to somebody else. So it wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. So yes, I want a house in North Carolina badly, but we have to find the right one.
Yes. And it is a bit of a drive for us, but we do love it.
And Karina says she found us. She loves us. She doesn't know what era to go with as parts, I'm assuming, of your house are pre-Civil War, and then it was added on to several times. Last remodels additions appear to be 1940s. Let me tell you what, go with what you love. In a house like that, because it has evolved over time so radically, go to an antique store, and if something speaks to you, buy it. You will find a way to put it together. In this dining room, I have 18th century gentlemen's waistcoats. I have a buffet from 1840. The dining table is about 1860. The paintings on the walls are about 1900, but it all works together. It all works together. And this house is 1909. So all these things existed before the house and could have been part of the house. So go with what you love.
The people want a Laine-led Biltmore tour.
Oh, Lord. They ain't gonna let me in there.
Hey, I have never been to the Biltmore. She has.
No, I haven't. I've never been.
I thought you went.
No, I've never been.
Why can't we go? I wanted to go.
We
I
just
keep
haven't
wanting
gone.
to go.
We drove right by there when we drove through North Carolina and had to get to where we were going. We drove through.
That was right after
it was when
Louise
burned down. So we were driving to see Louise for the first time after she burned down. So we couldn't stop. And we were very upset about it.
Somebody else asked about Savannah. Oh, sure. We'd love to have a house in Savannah, but they are very expensive. We've been to Savannah many times and love it. We went to Charleston for the first time in, when did we go? March?
March. It was.
And we took a lot of video. Does anybody want to see a video of us in
Charleston?
Charleston?
Trip to Charleston, we have that.
I don't know. We're thinking about putting that out.
Somebody wants to know if we could choose only one paint color for interiors, what would it be? Our favorite, and we have the same favorite color. And I know you guys think that's creepy and weird. I'm sorry. We love French Provincial blue or anything in that range. You can't tell, but this is a very, very light French Provincial blue. And then in the living room, we have a darker version of it. So if I had to only pick one color, we would stay with blue, some kind of blue. Somebody asked us, have we watched Cheap Old Houses and what do we think about it? We don't watch TV, really. We love Ethan and Elizabeth. They are the ones who own that Instagram account. And they're the ones who are on TV. They're great people. But we do not have time. So people are always asking me, like, how do I have enough hours in my day to do everything? It's because we don't sit and watch TV. If we did.
I love that they are promoting old homes, and, there are people for sure. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
We got a whole crew going to Biltmore, Laine.
All right. We need to do it. We've actually talked about, so here is, here's something that we've talked about doing. We've talked about doing like an Our Restoration Nation preservation get together, picking a location, having speakers come from all around. So you guys kind of like shoot an email or a DM. Yeah, and let us know if that's something you'd be interested in us putting together.
Natchez would be the place to do that.
It would be the place to do that. Yeah. Somebody did ask earlier, I saw, and it was way earlier, and I'm so sorry if I didn't just now got to this. They asked if Kevin ever takes anybody on to like tutor or train. We typically don't do that because the work environments can be very dangerous that we're in. I have fallen through the porch once at Melly. I fell through the floor once at Melly. We've had things. it's just very dangerous.
Yeah, and we will take somebody through the house typically if they show up and knock on the door.
But that even scares me.
And it scares us to death. It really does, because there's a lot of liability there, and it's a dangerous place. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, until we get that house secured, it is quite dangerous.
Barry asks again about recreating houses from old plans. Barry, I find that very difficult because the materials don't exist anymore, and modern architects are not trained for the correct proportions. Dawn, thank you.
Thank you
so much. Dawn says, thanks to you. Thank you for keeping history real and caring about the truth of all stories. And that is something, if you're new here, we're going to talk, you need to know we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about the good things, and we're going to talk about the ugly parts of history. And we're going to talk about them without bias, without embarrassment, without shying away from it. I do know that some of the major networks who produce shows about historic homes will not talk about segregation. They will not talk about the enslavement of people. They will not talk about anti-Semitism in our country, because that's hard to talk about. But it's only hard to talk about if you make it hard to talk about. If you face forward and you say, we're moving in this direction, so we can talk about things that happened in this direction just as facts. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable. And it's only uncomfortable if we make it uncomfortable, right?
That's right. Somebody wants to see the dogs. Boy, if we let the dogs out right now.
Look, it would be insane. We have 8.
Maybe right before we get off.
Right before we get off, yes.
Out. They're all in the bedroom right now.
That's a good idea, Michelle. She said, because we please add a materials list to our videos. We have never considered that.
That is a good idea.
That is a brilliant idea. Somebody's probably doing that, and we just didn't know. But yeah, we should start doing that. Would it be... Somebody keeps asking, we keep getting asked over and over and over, could you basically build an old house today?
It would cost a fortune if you try.
I'm following a couple of accounts on Instagram that are trying, and all I can look at when I look at the houses is how ill proportioned they are. They're out of scale because we don't make windows the right scale anymore. We don't make porch railings the right scale anymore. We don't have the lumber to turn a 4-inch porch post. So it just...
So here's a good question, though. So not everyone in this community who loves old homes has an old home. Maybe they've got a newer one, and they want to know how can they add character to a newer home.
Our first house was a brand new build when we first married.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that we always try to do, and you just correct me if I say something stupid, we usually like to put one center point, one feature in every room.
Right.
And so if you are building a newer home, or you have a newer home, you can buy, it breaks our heart because an old mantle came out of a house, because somebody ripped it out. But there are mantles all over the place. You put an old mantle in a newer home and you have the trim correct, then you can put a feature like that in.
Nice, chunky, historic mantle, and all of a sudden your
big
space is warm.
Large frame around your doors and your windows.
And all
will
of a
make
sudden,
it look so much better. Now you can buy old windows, which again have been ripped out of old houses, but they're all over the place. You put old windows in and have a beautiful old window in your new home. So there's lots of ways.
Daniel wants to know how we budget your materials. I am tight as Jake's hat band, as my grandmother used to say. I like to make things look fantastic for as little money as humanly possible. That's one of the ways we're able to do this. So there are things that we will spend money on. Structural materials, we're going to blow the budget on it because we want to make sure it's structurally sound. Electric, plumbing, HVAC. The rest of it, I find what I want, and then I find a way to create that same look at a much less expensive price. That's probably not what you were asking, but I tried.
Somebody was talking about, you can't even buy wood like you used to. No, you absolutely cannot. And when we have rot in a certain section, we'll end up buying, 5 2x10s, putting them all together to match the one massive tree that they've got in there.
I do want to say, Robert says, in some ways, you're the opposite of stereotypical Southerners. I think you would find that most people in the South are the opposite of stereotypical Southerners. We are representative of the majority of people, I think, that live in the South. Like all places, I'm sure most people who live in Boston aren't what we think of as people who live in Boston, but there is a stereotype. Most stereotypes exist because a few of those people exist, but they are not the vast majority. Wouldn't you say that we're pretty typical?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's a little different from accents and that type of thing from cities to rural areas.
I think they mean our socioeconomic
Yeah, I think
views.
we're pretty typical.
We're pretty
folks.
typical. We really
Yeah,
are.
I think so. Yeah, and then Robert's talking about why do I think the resurgence, and I think there is a resurgence of restoring older homes, is because of the newer subdivisions that people are just sick of. We cannot stand driving through one of those subdivisions where every house looks exactly the same. It's the same brick house with a lot of times they'll have like vinyl siding on the back or on the sides.
Well, just like the tiny lots.
Oh my gosh, the tiny lots, and they're all right next to each other.
The same exact setback from the road. It feels.
You just cannot build what is in those old homes.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Ew. I agree. We agree. So let's see. How do we buy an abandoned house? You can often go through a trust, the Georgia Trust.
We've bought them all different ways.
Yes, all different
ways that we bought
trusts we bought them from. We have actually hunted down owners off of tax records and contacted people directly. We have been lucky enough to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. I have a good friend, Scott Reed, who has Saving Old Houses, and he helps us find them. We've bought them at auction. It's just kind of getting entrenched in the community and letting people know you're looking.
People from the South are wonderful. I'm glad you think so. Keep trying. I love that handle too. That's good.
So close together you could shake hands with your neighbor, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to look out my window directly into my neighbor's kitchen.
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
And I mean, honestly, we almost have an acre here, but we want to get 20 acres somewhere if we can. But it's so hard to find here in the South. Finding a good old house on 20 acres of pretty land is very difficult.
It's that you can find in Illinois, Ohio, Indiana.
There seems like Mississippi's got some of those good ones too.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. I just don't know why we can't find one.
There was
here.
somebody asked about, are there still original light fixtures? You can find tons of houses with their original
we've
light
got
fixtures.
Two boxes. I thought they meant, can you find them to put in whatever you've got? We've got boxes of them.
Oh, and Charity, I love that. Charity
porch.
says that us not being afraid to take on crazy projects without breaking the bank is inspired her to take on a house hunt in El Salvador.
Yeah.
Send us a picture if you find your dream project. And guys, look, we love on Instagram, especially. It's very easy to DM me. I love to see the projects you're taking on, and I answer questions all day long.
Yeah.
If you have a question, a concern, now I try to get back to everybody. I think there's one that I've missed, and I'm like hunting for her to see if I can go back and answer her question. I do get so many that sometimes they do get lost in there. It's not this easy, but I try to really be very helpful.
And I will say as well, if you post on Instagram or Facebook and you tag our Restoration Nation, we'll repost that, and everybody can see the great project you have going. So do that.
Somebody says, why are houses from the 1800s so affordable in New England? Supply and demand. New England was settled starting in 1658. So when you've got people there that early, that's when the land grant started. Yeah. And so those houses were built and built and built and built and built. So they're just everywhere.
Maine, I know. Maine has quite a few. Yes, we see them in Maine all the time.
Let's see.
Can they move Maine closer to Arkansas? Ask
right.
them about that.
Look, somebody said Maine.
Yeah, no.
Michelle says Maine. I didn't see that when I said Maine.
No, I saw it.
No, I didn't see it. Yes, Michelle. Maine has the most beautiful house. And I keep saying that's where we need to go summer because it gets so hot and miserable here in the summer in Maine. It's delightful.
Well, thank you very much, Sherry. I'm glad you like this stuff. She likes everything we do.
Thank you, Sherry.
Probably talking to you, though.
And then,
oh, my goodness gracious.
Red dress, thank you.
Thank you very much.
These are amazing.
Oh, this is so nice.
Thank you.
Just...
Alicia loves everything about her house, except that it isn't old. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie, San Francisco Victorians are insane.
Yeah, I mean, some of those areas are just...
Nope. Why would you? I can't imagine. I would find a job to move away so that I could afford to buy a house because how do people even buy them over there? I was looking at a retired judge's 5,000 square foot house for $80,000.
The judges have all the good houses,
the judges obviously have all the good houses.
Oh my gosh.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Do it.
Again, we love, I'm going to be really
New
honest
Orleans,
about New Orleans. We love the New Orleans pre-Katrina. After Katrina, I felt like all the hipsters moved in and kind of turned it into the Disneyland version of New Orleans. It didn't, I loved the grittiness of New Orleans.
Well, the architecture is still amazing. And, those are going from, we've been there. We've been in New Orleans like 4 different times, for a week at a time, maybe. and love it. But
we love it.
It did seem to change quite a bit after that.
Yeah. It's also incredibly expensive. And when we say we like cheap ladies, we're not kidding. We like cheap.
Oh, this is Michelle again. The house in Maine. The house is 5,000 square foot. The judge's house is in Maine. I bet it's amazing.
You know, it's got
and they're pretty affordable in Maine too, for the most part. The ones I see, yeah.
No air conditioning. Most of the homes in New England, yes.
Yeah, well, they don't really need them as
Not
much.
as bad.
I mean, we don't need it today. It's so nice out here. Snow, yeah, we get some snow here, but
Barely.
Yeah, Illinois is a little cold for us. Chicago's got some amazing houses for sure.
You own an old Victorian in San Francisco. You were sitting on a gold mine.
Jennifer. Can we come stay with you, Jennifer?
Sitting on a gold mine. Yeah, it is high property tax in Maine, but
New York, a lot of those areas.
If you get a house for so little money, you can, it balances out a little bit.
And that's kind of goes back to how do you budget for, and what are the surprises in an old home? We typically get them so that there is such a cushion there between what we buy it for, what we know it's going to cost, what it actually costs, and what it would sell for. We maintain a really good cushion there, so that's how we don't get over our heads.
Somebody says, do any of our houses have walk-in windows? They all do. Not this one. Helen does.
Helen has walk-in
Melly
windows?
has. Yep. It's just been a while since we've been to Helen. She's got walk-out windows.
Where?
In the living room. I promise you. We walked out them last time we were there. We opened the window and walked in and out it. I mean, it's got a little bit of a rise, but they're meant to be pass-through windows. Okay. Pearl has one. Melly has them on the
Willa
front,
has them.
and Willa has them. It is one of the things that I
Pearl
love.
has is Pearl the one that's got the 3? No, that was one that we showed, right?
Yeah.
But Pearl does have a box head, beautiful walkout window or 2.
Linda says there's some beautiful arts and crafts houses in Metro Detroit and wants to know if there's any down here. We do have some beautiful arts and crafts homes. Beautiful, especially like where we live in Arkansas. Our state capital, Little Rock, has a gorgeous area called Hillcrest and the Heights, and they have some stunning arts and crafts homes there.
So are you selling Willa since problems with moving? We're still trying to move. I mean, we haven't given up yet.
We want to get that project.
Yes, and it still may happen for sure. We love that city. I don't know what would happen if we, for some reason, weren't able to move it. We should be able to move it. That's the thing.
We should. All right, guys.
Kevin, we all start forgetting when we get older. Barry, I started forgetting a long time ago.
Just tell you this.
No, I definitely am getting older.
His man was an athlete, and as an athlete, he received many concussions. I blame the concussions.
She blames the concussions on my bad memory. I don't know if that's it or not.
Carolyn Bissonette, thank you so much.
My goodness. Thank you. Man, I mean, we should probably go, shouldn't we?
I feel like it's been really a long time that we've
They're
been
still
here.
there
An
for
hour
us.
and 20 minutes.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
And we want to come to France and buy a home there too.
That's
Can we stay with you?
Longest term plan is to find a restoration project in France.
Oh my goodness, so many questions. Before we met each other, were we interested? I was very interested in architecture.
My dad's calling now.
She was. They probably want us to go eat.
I'm sure they do.
Laine has always been interested in old houses and history for sure. I was not as interested in history. I was not as interested in old houses. I will say I've always loved architecture and almost became an architect. But I think I told her just a few weeks ago, I could not buy a newer house now, even though I've always appreciated newer architecture and older architecture. I'm sold, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. I've converted
and antiques too. I mean, I'm sold on antiques.
When we first got married, we would go antiquing, and he would be annoyed the entire time.
That's true. That's true.
Annoyed, and then I slowly figured it out. I would give him something to look for. Like today, we're shopping for this, and then once he started learning about it,
I'm a 12-year-old. That's basically the truth. Yeah.
He's a 12-year-old. She says.
Oh,
somebody
really?
says we've been doing Victorians. How do we feel about a colonial? I would love to find a colonial. I would love it, love it, love it.
Our
We'd have to go to New
first
England.
restoration was a colonial.
It was a colonial revival.
Colonial
it was
revival.
1933, so it was a colonial revival.
But that's kind of where we got our feet wet.
I don't watch Chateau Diaries, but I do watch. So I'm friends with the guys who have Restoration Chateau on
Beautiful.
Instagram. Oh, I love
If you're not following them, man, that's
We're
a
gonna
good
go stay
follow.
with them someday and
Yes.
watch.
Yes, that's a gorgeous home.
If we were offered our own TV show, what would we do? We would be very particular about what the show was about. Because I'm not interested in having a show.
Hopefully we would do exactly what we're doing with the homes that we're working on, and you would just get better editing and better access, and we'd have more time to do it maybe.
Yeah.
So, hey, HGTV, hey. Maybe, you never know.
So should we let the pepperinos out and let them see something that's crazy?
Release
I'll go get
the
them.
hounds.
I'll release the hounds.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to entertain them by myself.
Read the questions.
Okay. So the dogs are coming, guys. We have 8 dogs. We have 5 of them we bought in one way or another. 3 of them are rescues. Hey guys, come say hi. Oh, come here, Bean.
Here's Oliver.
Come here, Bean.
Here's Oliver.
This is the famous Dilly Bean, who's been to Westminster. He is a perfect example of a Pomeranian. See me be perfect? He's my buddy. He's my football, basketball watching buddy.
Here, we have to angle the camera down.
Oh, okay, so they can see.
Put it down here.
That's a Boo.
This is the love of my life.
This is a Boo. She's in charge.
Oh, here, this is
here we go.
Daddy's favorite boy.
This is Ollie, my sweet boy. He's a rescue.
This is my Gussie,
This
the
is
love of
Gussie.
my life. That's Mayella.
Mayella and Tank.
Okay, where's Spooky Sprite?
She went running for the door. Did she go outside the one time she actually went outside? Yes, a football. He is a football. That's a Bean. Bean, is it dinner time? Guys, I was supposed to eat 26 minutes ago. I'm starving to death. And now they've all gone outside. Are you looking for Sprite? Sprite is a little Pomeranian rescue that has no teeth. She came to us with 1 tooth and she kept getting infected and stuff, and we had to have it removed. But she's the cutest thing in the world. Pet Restoration Nation, that's right. Rescuation Nation. Huh?
She won't let me get her.
Oh, well, she is adorable. No.
Sprite is a rescue who came from a hoarding situation where there were 86 dogs, 50 of them were Pomeranians. So she doesn't really know how to properly express affection. We've had her for 2 years. So she has a hard time.
What does she always say?
No petting,
no petting, no
petting.
petting, no petting. No, not right now.
This is Mayella. She is very suspicious.
She's suspicious, Mayella. Can you tell them I don't know you?
Don't know you.
I don't trust you. She looks suspicious all the time.
Tanky, come here,
Where's
buddy.
Tank? That dog is hungry.
And he's so hungry.
His name is Tank because he's a Pomeranian that weighs 75 pounds. He doesn't really, but he is heavy.
He's my goodest boy.
And he loves to eat.
Yes, I did accessorize the home with dogs. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Border Collies are fantastic. I love them. We have 2 Australian Shepherds.
Oh my goodness, are you having an anxiety attack?
Oh, no. I don't want to be on TV.
All right.
Poms, they're really great dogs.
Here's my Gus and Miles. Come here, buddy. Gus. Gus.
Hey, thanks, Daniel, for watching. No, Gussie says it's time to eat. People.
Here we go, Gus.
No.
Nope.
Time to eat.
We should probably go now.
We should probably go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, guys, for all of the sweet comments
And
and
the top chats were
top
awesome.
chats and all your time. Please go watch our video that we released today. Please,
Yes.
please. It's fantastic. You will love it. Please share it. It really helps us out when you do that kind of stuff.
Sharing is
Subscribe.
amazingly helpful.
Like, ring that bell so you get notified when they come. What else? Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Same account name.
Same account name. And we love you guys.
Have a great evening, friends. Thank you for joining us for this hour-and-a-half long
I
chat.
know. Bye.
Well, I can get off the floor.